Today our topic is why desire is the root of suffering. Stoic perspective. Life is full of ups and downs, and sometimes we feel happy, while other times we feel sad or frustrated. But have you ever noticed that a lot of our pain comes from wanting things? We want more money, more success, more love, more respect. We want to change the past or control the future. We want people to act the way we expect them to. And when we don't get what we want, we suffer. The Stoics, who were ancient philosophers, believed that desire is the root of suffering. They taught that if we can understand and manage our desires, we can find peace and live a better life. Let's explore this idea and see how it can help us. First, let's talk about what desire really is. Desire is a strong feeling of wanting something. It could be a physical thing, like a new car or a bigger house. It could be an emotional thing, like wanting someone to love us or approve of us. It could even be a situation like wanting to be healthier or more successful. Desire is not always bad. Sometimes it pushes us to work hard and achieve our goals. But the problem starts when we become too attached to our desires. When we think that we need something to be happy, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Because life is unpredictable. We can't control everything. And when things don't go our way, we feel frustrated, angry, or sad. The Stoics believed that the key to happiness is not getting everything we want, but wanting less. They said that true freedom comes from being content with what we have, rather than always chasing more. This doesn't mean we should stop trying to improve our lives. It just means we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. For example, we can control how hard we work, but we can't control whether we get promoted. We can control how we treat others, but we can't control how they treat us. When we focus too much on things outside our control, we waste our energy and create unnecessary stress. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This means that real wealth is not about having a lot of money or things, but about being satisfied with less. When we reduce our desires, we reduce our suffering. Think about it. If you don't need a lot to be happy, you won't feel disappointed when you don't get it. You will feel free. This is why the Stoics practiced something called negative visualization. They imagined losing the things they had, like their health, their loved ones, or their possessions. This might sound strange, but it helped them appreciate what they had and prepare for the possibility of loss. By doing this, they became less attached to their desires and more grateful for the present moment. Another Stoic philosopher, Seneca, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This means that no matter how much we have, if we always want more, we will never feel satisfied. We will always feel like something is missing. But if we learn to be content with what we have, we will feel rich no matter how little we own. This is a powerful idea, especially in today's world, where we are constantly bombarded with messages telling us to buy more, do more, and be more. We are told that we need the latest phone, the best clothes, or the perfect body to be happy. But the truth is, these things will never make us truly happy. They might give us temporary pleasure, but they won't bring lasting peace. So how can we apply this Stoic wisdom to our own lives? The first step is to become aware of our desires. Pay attention to what you want and why you want it. Ask yourself, do I really need this to be happy? Or am I just chasing something because society tells me I should? This kind of self-reflection can help you see which desires are meaningful and which are just distractions. The next step is to practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, focus on what you do have. Make a list of the things you are grateful for, no matter how small. This will help you appreciate the present moment and reduce your attachment to unnecessary desires. Another important Stoic practice is to focus on what you can control. As I mentioned earlier, we can't control everything in life, but we can control our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. When you find yourself feeling frustrated or upset, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If not, how can I let it go? This doesn't mean you should ignore your problems or give up on your goals. It just means you should focus your energy on the things that really matter and accept the things you can't change. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, getting angry won't make the cars move faster. But you can control how you react. You can choose to stay calm and use the time to listen to music or think about something positive. The Stoics also believed in the importance of living in harmony with nature. They saw nature as a guide for how to live a good life. They believed that everything happens for a reason, and that even the bad things in life can teach us something valuable. When we accept this, we stop resisting reality and start finding peace. For example, if you lose your job, instead of feeling angry or hopeless, you can see it as an opportunity to learn new skills or explore new possibilities. This doesn't mean you should pretend that everything is fine when it's not. It just means you should look for the lessons in every situation and use them to grow stronger. Finally, the Stoics believed in the power of virtue. They said that the most important thing in life is not wealth, fame, or pleasure, but being a good person. They believed that true happiness comes from living with honesty, courage, kindness, and wisdom. When we focus on developing these qualities, we become less concerned with external desires and more focused on inner peace. For example, instead of trying to impress others with your success, focus on being kind and helpful. Instead of chasing material things, invest in your relationships and your personal growth. This is how you build a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. In conclusion, desire is not always bad, but it can lead to suffering if we become too attached to it. The Stoics taught us that the key to happiness is wanting less, being grateful for what we have, and focusing on what we can control. By practicing these principles, we can reduce our suffering and find peace in the present moment. Life will always have challenges, but when we learn to accept what we cannot change and focus on what truly matters, we can live with greater freedom and joy. So the next time you feel frustrated or unhappy, ask yourself, is this because of something I want but don't have? And if so, can I let it go? Remember, true wealth is not in having more, but in wanting less. And true happiness is not in getting everything you desire, but in finding peace with what you already have.